Hi, this is Angela from North Carolina. And I was so sad to hear about the death of Cicely Tyson today at the age of 96. It's so surprising that she was only 96 because she seemed so old for decades because of the parts that she always played, even when she was a young woman. But she was an accidental actress. She worked for the Red Cross in New York and was part of the typing pool. And every day she would go to her favorite store and eat her sandwich outside of it and go in and look at the clothes at Lord and Taylor. And one day somebody tapped her on the shoulder and they asked her who her agent was, and she didn't really know what they were talking about. And they said, "Well, aren't you a model?" And she said no. And next thing you know, they told her how to do a portfolio, and she's now modeling, and her life changed, overnight, just like a Cinderella story. And she soon started doing some off Broadway and Broadway plays. And in 1972, she got the starring role of a fabulous movie called Sounder. If you've never seen it, I urge you to watch it. It's the story of the Morgan family, a sharecropper family that barely got by, but they were proud and had a loving family life. And the husband was caught stealing food. They'd had a particularly lean year, and he ended up in prison. And Cicely played the strong mother who kept the family together and plowed the fields and did everything that the man would do. So her first time out in a movie, she was nominated for an Academy Award, which was really unheard of at the time. And then 2 years later, she was in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. And the movie starts off with her playing a 110-year-old ex slave, and she's being interviewed. And she goes back in time and goes back to her young childhood. And you actually see this beautiful actress, Cicely Tyson, change in this movie from a young teenager to a lady that's 110 years old, and you experience her life through her. And it's the most incredible, moving performance that you've ever seen. And then, of course, she was in Roots and played Kunta Kinta's mother. Her name was Binta, and she was just so good in that. I am of the age that I remember you could not wait to get home so you could watch Roots. It was really the very first TV series that was like a big premiere, and it was 2 nights a week until it ran its course, and everyone was at the edge of their seat. It was such a wonderfully performed production. And during this time, she was married to the legendary Miles Davis, which a lot of people don't know. And they had a really loving marriage, and they were so close, and she had nothing but good things to say about him until, her death, actually. But she was in the movie How to Get Away with Murder, and a lot of you will have seen her in Help, the fabulous movie that was about 10 years ago, and she played Constantine Jefferson. But the best movie that I've seen her in so long, I watched her in it on Sunday, was Fall from Grace, made for Netflix. And she played one of the women that was being held captive by Felicia Rashad. And they were held, and some of them were chained for their Social Security money. And she was excellent in that movie. And I was looking at her then thinking that she was timeless, and that it seemed like I would be looking at her in movies forever. And then now here I am hearing that she's passed away. But I thought so much of her very early on, during the time actually that she and Miles Davis were like one of the first it couples. She decided she would use her career as a platform for what she felt was right, and she would speak out against injustice. And she never had any children of her own, so she just embraced the world as her children. But rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. You gave so much to the movie industry and to everyone that ever saw you perform. Thank you so much for all that you did in every movie that I ever saw you in. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed you.